What's up, Photoshoppers? Today I'm going to go through creating an action to do frequency separation. I'll show you how I use frequency separation versus how some other people use frequency separation. I'll try and do it quick and to the point because we ain't got all day. I guess we do. We're all in quarantine right now. But let's not dilly when we don't need to. Dilly dally. That's the word, right? So we'll go add to add a new action. You can call it action one. You can call it, I call it freq sep for frequency separation. We'll hit record, and now it's going to record everything that we do, right? So we need to duplicate the background layer twice. Use Command or Control J. We're going to work on this bottom layer right now. We need to make that blurry so it's only color information and not texture information. So go Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. And this is a bit strong. It doesn't need to be quite that strong. Right about 5.6 or so is usually good. And so now we have no texture on this layer. It's just the color, right? Because it's nice and blurry. Now we do the layer above it. It's going to be our high frequency layer or our texture layer. Say image. Apply image. And it's already done it because I was just doing this. But what we're doing is we're subtracting the color information from this layer using the information on this layer. So where it says layer, it needs to say layer 1 or our low frequency layer. Those two things need to match, right? And the blending needs to be subtract because we're subtracting color information. The math here, scale needs to be 2, offset 128. Click OK. And now you've got this nice texture layer that only shows the texture and almost none of the color. There's a little bit there, but nothing that you can affect. All right, but we need to make this workable because we can't work on it like this. So our blend mode needs to go from normal to linear light. Boom, and there we go. And that's good. You can stop your action there if you want. I like to work not on those layers, but on naked layers above them, right? Set all of our tools to sample current and below, and you don't have to affect the actual layer. This gives you a lot more control. You can change the opacity of your adjustments and just gives you a lot finer control over the retouching of your image. I'm going to stop the recording there, right? And then I could delete all this if I want to. Oh no, what happened? And go back out to the top. And here we have, if I can get there. Here's our freq sep. If we click play, it'll do everything that we just did. Right? And now you have your own frequency separation action. I already have one. I don't need another one, but that's the one that I have. All right. So now I'll show you how I use it. A lot of people who use frequency separation, they like to lasso regions that they want to blend together. Like say I wanted to blend this part right here. So this is a more uniform skin tone. And they'll do it on the layer that's blurry already and make it even blurrier. Blur, Gaussian blur. And you got to really turn it up to get the effect to work. And you can see the skin tone is a little bit more uniform, but it looks really done. Like it just really looks retouched. Which, we know our image is going to be retouched, but it doesn't need to look quite that heavy, right? So I don't do that. I do it a little bit differently. Let's go back in the history to before I did that horrible thing to this. I work on the empty layer above, and I use the healing brush. I'm just going to grab a nice large soft brush, select the tone that you want to replicate, and just paint in. And this is much more subtle, right? So now we don't have that highlight there. Now the tones all blend together pretty well. And I can even, go in here on the under eye area and lighten that a bit. It's not bad, we all have a shadow here, but if you wanted to make it a little bit weaker, you can, like this. And it's just it just gives you more finer control. It tends to look a little bit better. All right, so that's the color. Now if we wanted to work on texture, let's say we had a blemish here. And these are all just little skin things that humans have. Those are fine. We don't need to move them, but if we wanted to, we can. Grab that same healing brush, sample a nearby area, right? So that you're getting the same texture. and then just boom, just like that. And it won't mess with the color. It'll only mess with the texture. And that's it, guys. That's how you do it. Zoom out and we can see the before and after. I usually turn this part down a little bit so it's not so intense. Right? Somewhere around there. That's good. Group them all together so it's easy to see before and after. Command or Control G, and look at the difference, right? That highlight is now a much more medium tone, and it fits better with the rest of the skin. And that dark shadow area, you know, it's still shadowy. We left it shadowy, but it's a lot less dramatic now. And that's it, guys.